How does a gameplay feel when you can penetrate everyone and everyone can penetrate you, and the only thing that makes all the difference is who gets to shoot first? That is the feeling you will have when playing Avenger. Download free Eagles app to complete the tasks and get Golden Eagles for free, and referral code for bonus GE in the description. Avenger uses 17-pounder cannon, the same that can be found on Archer where it wrecks everything apart. But this time battle rating is increased to 4.7 and this gun starts to lose its positions to other guns. Don't get me wrong, the penetration is still way above average, but some vehicles can offer good post-penetration effect by using APHE shells, and at the same time penetration is not very far behind. The shells are all very similar. You start with default armor piercing, then you research a cap for it to increase penetration on angled armor, and last shell's research adds ballistic cap on top, decreasing air resistance and this way increasing overall penetration. The final variant of projectile lets you penetrate over 150mm of armor at 1 km range, which in theory, under ideal conditions, makes it possible to penetrate frontal armor of any vehicle at your battle rating and even above. Solid armor piercing shells don't do as much damage as APHE shells, but nevertheless, nearly 8 kg of steel projectile is able to one-shot opponents quite often, and even when it doesn't, it will do some serious damage. And 5.6 seconds reload time will let you finish opponent before they even have a chance to recover. Muzzle velocity of almost 900 meters per second makes it comfortable to shoot at distant targets. And usually you want them to be far away from you so they would miss their shots, because armor is one of the biggest Avenger's problems. 75mm in gun's mantlet is the best you have, and that's not enough to stop most of the shells coming at you. The hull is around 60mm and for the most part has no tricky angles to ricochet shells, as the only plate that looks placed well enough to do that is only 30mm thick. Turning to your opponent at an angle is also pointless, as sights are also weak. Crew placement doesn't help as well. Only driver sits slightly separated and the rest of crew are close to each other and are usually killed together if someone shoots at your turret. In other words, if someone shoots you first, you are most likely destroyed. To shoot opponents before they have a chance to do that to Avenger, it has to flank. And that is done pretty easily because lack of armor positively affects movement. Vehicle easily accelerates to 40 km per hour and even almost to a maximum speed of 56 if road quality is good and you are not doing any turns. But the backward speed is one of the worst in game, only 3 km per hour. Oftentimes it's faster to turn around to move a short distance than going backwards. Thanks to ability to use both tracks, Avenger is able to spin around quite quickly while standing in one place. Another way to shoot opponent first is to play hull down. That's possible thanks to 10 degrees guns depression. But since backward speed is so small, you might not have enough time to hide after shot. Having a turret is a nice addition for any tank destroyer. Avenger can turn it at 14 degrees per second. That's an average rotation speed, not very different from what most of the tanks have. Additionally, it has the ability to shoot smoke shells through its gun, and that is the only unusual thing Avenger has, as for the most part it's basically a very good gun mounted on somewhat fast vehicle. It doesn't even have a machine gun and forced to deal with any threat using only the gun, even if that is not very effective. In arcade you will suffer a little bit more, as Avenger is like a light tank without all the goodies they usually have. On the other hand, light tanks usually don't have superior cannon. You will most likely lose trading shots as incoming APHEs will inflict significantly more damage. So somehow you need to create conditions when you are the first to shoot. The only thing you can do well is to use your speed to move forward and try to flank opponents. They will still be aware of you because of markers, but if you take cover far away from your team, enemies will have hard time concentrating their fire and will most likely turn their turrets away from you because there will be more targets in another side. And if someone tries to approach you, doesn't matter who, because your gun can penetrate anyone, shoot them while they are on the move and unable to fire precisely. That's an effective way to play Avenger in arcade, but unfortunately the only one as well. Avenger created an impression of very straightforward tank. You have a good gun, you have fast wheels, now go out there and deal with these bad guys. And yes, shooting the gun is the main thing tanks in War Thunder usually do, but there is nothing you can do outside of shooting the gun, not even artillery support or at least unusual tank design that could be used in your advantage. So despite it requires some experience or at least good awareness of a map to position yourself well, it felt super simple to use, which is both advantage and disadvantage when playing a game.